Okay, so we watched Cutthroat Island, and this movie is bad.
It's bad. We can agree that it is bad. It means so well. And if you gave $98 million to a whole bunch of kids huddled in a tent in the forest, like eating their s'mores and telling stories, this is what would come out.
This is my friend Sam Winkler, nephew of Mr.
Still no.
Star of Stage and Scream. Get it? Because he was on Broadway and he was also in Scream. I got a shipment of Blu-rays, a lot of new stuff from Movies of Mikey, but I also got a copy of Cutthroat Island.
Because they throw in, they need to get rid of them.
The reason was, I obviously have done an episode of Movies of Mikey on Long Kiss Goodnight, which I think is a fantastic film, which is directed by Rennie Harlan and starred his wife, Geena Davis, which was also true of Cutthroat Island. So I thought, it's gotta be as good.
Alanis, you must have a good idea.
I don't know.
It's got pirates. How correct was I?
It has pirates. At least 3 pirates that I can count.
So Geena Davis has her own pirates. The most important one, her first mate, the visual proof coming in 3, 2, 1. Her first mate is pirate Jamie Hyneman.
Yes, he busts several myths such as you cannot break someone's head in a steering wheel.
It's no longer a myth.
Myth busted.
Her second first mate, the older brother from Malcolm in the Middle, apparently, I guess.
He spends the entire movie valiantly trying to do anything.
Mr. Bowen, bring that lizard. We'll have it for dinner.
His only contribution is at the very end, stabbing someone in the butt. Geena Davis's dad and her 11 to 19 uncles found a treasure one time. By the way, this gives us the most disgusting MacGuffin.
Okay, let's talk about this MacGuffin. Oh my god! So explain this MacGuffin to me.
Okay,
and I will just not listen. I'll just sing One Direction.
Our evil uncle, bad guy.
In the hotel room. Which person? Oh, wait, Matthew Modine or
no? Frank.
Oh, Frank Angelica. No, wait. Frank Langella. He was like doing a Mark Strong impersonation before Mark Strong existed.
Yeah, he alternates between like being sedated and chewing the scenery like it was those Japanese chewy Starburst. Hi, chew.
Good reference.
He kills Geena Davis's dad by both drowning him and shooting him.
And he tied him to an anchor, and then because he wasn't dying at a speed he found acceptable, he then shot him in the...
Geena Davis saves him momentarily, dragging him to a cave. And that's where it gets weird. The map is on her dad's scalp.
This movie begins with Geena Davis scalping her own dad. He's dying. He's like, "You must cut my hair." That's all he says. "You must cut my hair." The movie cuts away from this action. When it comes back, she's just like, "Oh, here's my dad's scalp. No big D."
So they follow Scalp Guffin.
Scalp Guffin!
Which is, they think, written in Latin. So they go to the nearest island and look for slaves. You know, the most likely population to be able to read Latin.
Okay, we gotta talk about Matthew Modine. And really, we gotta talk about Geena Davis, because here is the crux of everything that is wrong with this movie. I love Geena Davis so very much. With all of my stone cold onyx heart. Oh, is she miscast in this movie. Like, everyone else is like, "Oi, we're pirates, how you doing?" And then Matthew Modine and Geena Davis just walk in the room and they're like, "Oh, hello, we are also pirates. Yes, hello." There are things about this movie that work so beautifully these two are also, they have the chemistry of an A-bomb.
Give me the map. Give me a kiss first.
We were forced to witness them, I guess, falling in love, and also being totally okay with the either dying at least 3 times.
Wait, this is worth talking about because because they're clearly into each other. I guess what I mean is the script believes that because these two actors are not into each other.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, try having chemistry with your female lead when your husband is directing the film. He does pull a bullet out of her with, wait. Yep. That's the sound a bullet makes when it comes out of ya.
Yup.
Cutthroat Island. Motherfuckers.
Okay, so Geena Davis wins an auction by threatening to stab a dude's butt. By the way, she has a thing, apparently, about butts. She just wants to ruin everyone's butt. After Geena Davis wins Matthew Modine as a slave, where you first begin to realize, oh my god, this movie has an enormous budget. They built an entire town just to blow it up.
I spoiler alert, I guess. This is the bad movie you're looking for. We were screaming with joy at the end of this movie. I don't want to spoil it, but they have the biggest explosion of all time. It's the best. But the thing that was interesting, and I was looking up the cinematographer in this film, he hadn't really done, it was Peter, his name's right there. He'd done a few, like he'd done Broken Arrow for John Woo, and just kind of small stuff. He directed a couple episodes of Justified. It's funny because I think a lot of us probably saw this movie originally, like as kids or whatever, on VHS from Blockbuster, and you don't get any of this 2-3-5x1. There are so many shots of just staggering majesty in this film that look expensive and beautiful, and dare I say it, better than Pirates of the Caribbean sometimes, because they did this stuff for real.
It's so well layered that you will have people on the shore talking, a boat rowing up, and then in the distance, an actual pirate ship that boat came from. They actually had these boats, and that's another thing. The boats... Someone's going to get mad at me in the comments for not saying ships. The ships, boats, the shoats in this...
So one of the let's say worst things about this film, and it's funny because I think it's only worst to me. I'm not sure everyone would have this same reaction. All of the movie's dialogue, and I mean all of the movie's dialogue is done ADR, which means that they re-recorded the dialogue recording, ADR. They recorded it in a booth after the fact. And that happens because there's like too much wind on set if they're shooting outside. Generally, like one line will get messed up because sometimes you notice that it sounds a little different. It sounds a little too perfect like in a scene. That's because they recorded it later.
I'm connected to all the great families of Europe. I've a natural pitch for music and a perfect taste in wine.
They call that looping. The whole movie is that.
Okay, so we got this chase scene, and they get control of a carriage, and they're racing, and Geena Davis does this thing where she, she jumps up onto a roof, runs through a store, and then jumps back onto the carriage, and it's, the coolest thing. But then that's ruined by, the faultiest line in the world that's just...
I must visit that shop again when I have more time!
But then the most insane decision in the world happens, which is that a ship in the harbor notices Geena Davis, a known pirate. They're going to open up their cannons on a civilian port, and they blow up the entire town.
Ready, Howland! Woo!
Anyway, they escape.
So a bunch of stuff happens that I wasn't really paying that much attention. Anyway, so we get to the big climax, which actually, they find the gold halfway through the film. And I want to point out that our scalp guffin is actually one of 3 MacGuffins. The point is that they need a map, and there's an X on the map. So if you look at this scene in the film where they actually assemble the scalp, the wood piece, and I don't know, there was 3. Who cares? They get all 3 pieces. And so they find the map to this island. The biggest section of the island on there is, and look at the scalp. It's right there. You can see that that's where the X is. They don't need the other two, because I feel like they probably could have guessed from the one map. Probably.
This is a movie that loves pirate movies. They very clearly watched everything that they could have before they started writing this movie. Every possible trope you could want. They swing on chandeliers. They blow stuff up with gunpowder. A lot of swords are thrown with astonishing accuracy. There's a monkey, which, amazingly enough, never became a plot point. Ever.
Trigger warning. The monkey is fine. Oh, that's not a true.
A Truder? Zapruder warning.
Zapruder film warning. Back and to the left.
Anyway, so we get to the climax, and it's amazing. It's a big ship-to-ship battle, 50-man crew versus 50-man crew. They have apparently unlimited auto-reloading cannons because they just unload into each other. And we see every part of these ships come apart in amazing detail.
This is why you need to watch this movie. All of the money is spent in the climax, and I actually think the climax is as good as people are sort of wrong about this movie. It's awesome. And I mean awesome in every imaginable context you can use that word. It inspired awe in me. Holy, look at this! Look at this! This is crazy! And they are shooting real cannons with real gunpowder. Like, they are really trying to satisfy an audience, and you can tell that this is what everyone cared about. There were so many rewrites, and there was just recasting people. Matthew Modine was cast at the last second. It was supposed to be Michael Douglas. Somehow they went from Michael Douglas to Matthew Modine, which that's a fall from heaven I don't want to experience myself.
This movie cost infinite money, and it lost infinite money.
It was like 105, I think, when everything was tallied. It made 10. This movie is responsible for so many career-ending injuries in Hollywood. Matthew Modine, Geena Davis, these people didn't do anything for a long time, and generally it was on TV. Both of them actually went to TV. Rennie Harlan, God rest him. No, he's actually still alive. God rest him.
God rest his career.
He did one of the Exorcist, like, sequel prequel things.
Oh, God.
Where he, like, reshot it for someone else. Rennie Harlan was Die Hard 2, I think, is better than people remember it. Long Kiss Goodnight is amazing. Deep Blue Sea! Because we are not gonna die down here! That's what he says when he gets eaten by the shark.
It really is ironic that this movie was consigned to the dustbin of television replays. This movie should be on big screens.
So here's the thing about this movie. It's not a great movie. It's kind of a good movie at times, but what it absolutely is from start to finish. And if I might just bring up the line Geena Davis says to the villain, Frank Angelica, when she kills him.
All praise to Geena Davis.
Bad dog.
I was laughing so hard.
The greatest moment.
This is a great bad film. Imagine watching a great bad film that has a budget of $100 million and those motherfuckers actually know what to do with it.
I'll take the long way round. Oh, I'll find my own way down. Oh, as I should.
Okay, so we had a little bit of a break between hot takes. Obviously, I've now rebooted the show a little bit. This was due to some scheduling conflicts Thaddeus had, and the show will dearly miss him, but honestly, I thought the show needed a little bit of a shot in the arm and just kind of change. You know, it's obviously a bit more recappy in this format. Thaddeus fans, don't despair. He will be back in the future on episodes he can do, because, I mean, I love him to death and I want him on the show, so obviously he's still around. But I am going to cycle the guest out and play around with this a bit. If you have ideas on who you'd like to see on the show, hit me up on Twitter at MikeyFace. It'll be great. Don't forget to check out the last episode of Movies with Mikey proper. I took on Zodiac, finally, and I thought I did a pretty good job. You know, so check it out. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to vote on the next episode of Movies with Mikey proper, and I'll see y'all next time.